Well, hello and good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the BFTAA and More Show. I'm your host, Louis George Walker, and I'm coming to you live right from the studios of KUAW Radio in Kansas City, Missouri. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. Yes, we are right here broadcasting from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center and the KUAW studios. We come to you every week on Monday from 5 to 5:45 for a show that we call the BFTAA and More Show, where we give you a little bit of information about technology and what's going on in the world of science, or STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and a little bit of what's going on in the community and things that are happening around your neighborhood, our neighborhood, and neighborhoods everywhere. So I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon, and we're just glad to have you. Now, one of the things that we do like to do here, we're going to let you know that they have started enrollment for the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, and pull up their Facebook page and see what we've got there. I think you can go online and enroll at this time. Let's see. We'll pull up W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. That's one of our partners, or our partner in this whole broadcasting program. So we're glad to be here and glad to be a part of the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, which is celebrating 50 years of service from 1973 to 2023. 50 years of serving the community, of educating and inspiring our young people. So we are just so glad that we can continue to be a part of this organization doing great things right here in Kansas City. So let's see if they have their enrollment schedule on here, because I think they were supposed to be starting. I don't see this. August 8th through the 10th. No, that's not it. Okay, don't see it right now. I will look for it as I run some other things by you, and you can see when they are going to be doing their open enrollment period. But I think that it is coming up real soon if it's not already started. So I'll look for that as we go into some of our other programming that we have. So the Black Family Technology Awareness Association was started in 2004. It was a partnership with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, the Black Data Processing Associates, the Community Network of Southwestern Bell Telephone Company, and I think there was also a healing arts ministry that was involved when we first formed this. So we're going on 20 years ourselves right here with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and we're just so glad to be going still in 2023, going into 2024. February 2024 will be our 20th year anniversary that's coming up. So, hey, sit back and put on your seatbelts, because we're going to get ready to take a trip through a lot of the things that happened over those 20 years. I'll be bringing you some of the highlights of things that we were able to accomplish, things that we tried to do, and some things that didn't work out. But that's all a part of being a part of an organization that is doing good things in the neighborhood as a nonprofit. A lot of nonprofits don't last that long, but we got our 501c3 designation in 2005 after we had been formed for about a year, and we've kept rolling ever since. And there's been a lot of people that played a huge role in making all of that possible. I won't start calling names right now because there are so many, but all of you that helped the Black Family Technology Awareness Association in our founding, in our early years, and on to the day. My hat's off to you, and I want to say we're going to have a reunion get-together in February for all of you that have been a part of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So send us your information, how we can contact you, how we can let you know what's going on. We'd like to reach out to all Black family participants, members, friends, sponsors, all of you, so that you can help us make this a great time to celebrate 20 years of service. So as we move forward, we'd like to say that that's what we're doing. We're moving forward, not looking behind, but moving forward as to what we're going to be doing today and what we're going to be doing tomorrow. One of the things that is new that we've started is we have a drone academy. So in January, once again, we'll be starting our Lee Hawk Drone Academy. Kids will have the opportunity to learn how to fly, how to operate, and even how to get certified or how to start that process when they turn 16. We're taking them in from 9 years old to 12, 13. But as they learn and as they grow, they will be able to get certification as drone pilots. So we're going to try and help them do that. If we can generate some drone pilots, would be a great thing. We're also investigating getting into drone racing so we can have a drone racing team here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. There's a lot of things planned. We want to have a NSBE Junior chapter that's formed here that works out of this location, and all that we can do to continue to help our young people, help our families, help our community to keep moving forward and to do so with technology. That's right, the technology is everywhere, AI and electric cars and robots and drones and all of that stuff that when we started 20 years ago was in an infancy status, and now there are careers, there are businesses, there are a lot of opportunities for people in that. One of the opportunities that we like to show is our research and development of the United States government. A lot of our aerospace research and development is carried on by NASA. NASA either funds or actually does some of this research and development. And so we like to bring you what's up, what's happening at NASA this week, so that you can see over the past week what were some of the milestones that NASA has. NASA is always a good place to look for some of the leading edge information in space technology, in air flight, and even in some of the robotics fields and stuff. But we're wanting to show you a little bit of what's going on this week at NASA so that our young people can get involved in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So without any further ado, I would like to take you to NASA and let's see what's happening this week, or what happened last week at NASA.
Celebrating the Webb Space Telescope's first year of science, testing remote possibilities of a NASA humanoid robot, and a fleet of clean new rides for Artemis astronauts. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On July 12th, we celebrated our James Webb Space Telescope's first year of science operations with the release of this new Webb image of the Rho-Ophiuchi Cloud Complex, the closest star-forming region to us, some 390 light-years away. Since the release of Webb's first full-color images in July 2022, the telescope has discovered some of the earliest galaxies ever observed, delivered the most detailed views of atmospheres of planets outside our solar system, and captured new views of planets within our solar system. Learn more at nasa.gov/web. NASA and Western Australia's Woodside Energy plan to use a NASA Walkerw robot to test robotic remote operations at the company's facilities. The collaboration could lead to improved operational safety and efficiency at the company's offshore and remote installations. The venture could also help NASA develop a remotely operated mobile robot capable of working in conditions not suited for humans, like those astronauts may encounter on future Artemis missions to the moon. On July 11th, 3 specially designed, fully electric, environmentally friendly crew transportation vehicles were delivered to our Kennedy Space Center by KUAW Technologies Incorporated. The zero-emission vehicles will be used to transport astronauts from the crew quarters at Kennedy to their rocket and spacecraft at Launch Pad 39B ahead of Artemis missions to the moon. NASA Armstrong's DC-8 aircraft is conducting a series of low-altitude flights over some of the most densely populated places in North America as part of a collaborative effort with NOAA. The project is called AROMA, short for Atmospheric Emissions and Reactions Observed from Megacities to Marine Areas. It looks at how urban emissions and atmospheric chemical reactions that stem from the use of everyday items like personal care products and cleaning agents affect air quality and climate. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/TWAN.
All right. For those of you that watch regularly, you might have noticed that you've seen this information
Celebrating
before.
the Webb Space
We're
Telescope's
going to do this
first
again in just a second because that was last week's show that we showed you there. So I'm going to have to put the what's going on this week in there. So we're going to go right now into Space to Ground, and then we'll come back with what's happening this week at NASA. All right, so here's Space to Ground, and this is the right one.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Chelsea Bayarte. The International Space Station is expecting a lot of deliveries this month, both cargo and human. We kicked off this week with the delivery of tons of supplies from a resupply spacecraft, and by the end of the month, the space station will receive even more new science and supplies and see the arrival of the Crew 7 astronauts. Northrop Grumman launched its 19th resupply mission to the space station, and its Cygnus cargo freighter arrived earlier this week. The space station's crew captured a behind-the-scenes look at their point of view during Cygnus's arrival.
We got us a Cygnus.
Next thing, the arm will maneuver the Cygnus vehicle over to the Node 1 common berthing mechanism, and that common berthing mechanism, or CBM, will connect the vehicle, bolt it onto the space station, and then we'll get inside and take out all the cargo and supplies.
Maybe some ice cream, right?
Maybe, yeah, we'll see. Maybe some special treats.
Yeah.
The crew quickly got to work unpacking their new science and supplies. Some of the items included experiments such as fire protection, a new potable water dispenser, and even a memory card with artwork from students from around the world. The next delivery on deck is scheduled for August 24th, when the Progress 85 cargo spacecraft will arrive at the space station. We'll be airing both its launch and arrival live on NASA TV and on your NASA app. Then, just one day later, on August 25th, the excitement continues as 4 humans launch to the space station as part of NASA's SpaceX Crew 7 mission. Crew 7 is made up of 4 people: NASA astronaut Jasmine Mogbelli, Danish astronaut Andreas Mogensen, Japanese astronaut Satoshi Furukawa, and Russian cosmonaut Konstantin Borisov. A very international crew. So, we know Crew 7 is going to space very soon, but who exactly are they? Houston We Have a Podcast has a brand new episode out right now with an exclusive interview with each crew member. So check it out and get to know them just a little bit better.
Space to Ground.
Earlier this week, 2 spacewalking veterans suited up and ventured outside of the space station. It was Sergei Prokopiev's 8th spacewalk and the 6th for Dmitry Petelin. During their spacewalk, the duo attached debris shields to the outside of the space station's Roskiet module and did some tests on a work platform that will be attached to the European robotic arm in the future. That is all for Space to Ground. Thanks for watching. Do you need more space? We've got you covered. Head over to nasa.gov and we'll catch you next week.
The Artemis
All
2
right.
astronauts check out their ride to
Oops. Okay, we're going to get ready to go right into this week at NASA, because we didn't had the wrong one up there and stuff. So we're getting ready to fly over to that right now. So you get to see 2. If you missed last week's, you just saw it. Now we're going to see what's going on from this week's episode of This Week at NASA.
The Artemis 2 astronauts check out their ride to the moon, practicing post-splashdown recovery operations for Artemis 2, and the Webb Space Telescope checks out a record-breaking star. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On August 8th, the Artemis 2 astronauts visited our Kennedy Space Center to check out the Orion spacecraft that will carry them around the moon and back. They also participated in a news conference with NASA leadership to discuss Artemis II and how it will help pave the way for future long-term human exploration missions to the Moon and eventually to Mars.
The measure of success for Artemis II is seeing our colleagues on the lunar surface, seeing our colleagues assembling Gateway, and then seeing people that are following in our footsteps walking on Mars and coming back to planet Earth.
Artemis II will be the first mission with astronauts to the Moon in more than 50 years. Teams from NASA and the Department of Defense recently completed Underway Recovery Test 10 off the coast of San Diego. They practiced operational activities that will be used to safely retrieve the Artemis II astronauts and Orion spacecraft from the Pacific Ocean at the end of the mission. The approximately 10-day flight will be the first Artemis mission to send astronauts around the Moon and return them safely to Earth. Our James Webb Space Telescope followed up on the Hubble Space Telescope's observations of Earendel, the farthest star ever detected in the very distant universe within the first billion years after the Big Bang. Webb's near-infrared camera revealed that the massive star is more than twice as hot as our Sun and about 1 million times more luminous. Astronomers also think that based solely on the colors of Earendel, it might have a cooler, redder companion star. This October, NASA will launch the Heliophysics Big Year, a global celebration of solar science and the Sun's influence on Earth and the entire solar system. We will celebrate a theme each month from October 2023 to December 2024 and share opportunities to participate in solar science events like observing solar eclipses or other fun sun-related activities. Learn more at go.nasa.gov/HelioBigYear. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/TWAN.
All right. That's it. That's what's going on in NASA. We had to start it over again because we showed you the last week's first. But anyway, you see some of the things that are going on. This Artemis II, the re-landing on the moon that's coming up, and building a station on the moon is going to be a fantastic thing, a feat, because now if you're on solid surface, they can start building and manufacturing, start doing a lot of work up there in space that, will carry us farther, especially as we look at going to Mars. Because while they're up there, they're already in space and they can develop, they can mine, they can grow and create things. Somebody's calling me on my phone just as I'm on this show, so we'll let them hold on for a minute. Yes, every Monday I'm on the radio from 5 to 5:45, so we'll have to get with people to check their calendar and see that. But yeah, the Artemis II and Artemis project altogether about not recolonizing, but is actually landing on the moon, building and staying on the moon for long terms is coming up, and that's going to really be good for us. Now, one of the things we've got here in the United States that we wanted to talk about as we talk about education and moving forward and continuing to grow. This isn't STEM, but it is very much a part of education. It says Freedom Schools open in Florida to teach black history. So the Freedom School Project, which started back in the 60s, is now finding new life in Florida. And this comes from the Because of Them We Can, the staff reporting. We can educate ourselves. Article says Florida has been in shambles since the state's Board of Education released a new African American history curriculum for students in grades K through 12, revising slavery as something that benefited black people. Yeah, and this was reported by Bay News 9, so that's in Florida. The curriculum is the latest in efforts from the local Republican leaders like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to undo the little bit of progress this nation has seen by attacking education in the most violent of ways. Instead of crying in the dark, many have decided to fight back. St. Petersburg, Florida's Association of African American Life and History announcing the launch of Freedom Schools. So I've been down to St. Petersburg, real close to Clearwater, which is a resort place that a lot of people go to have fun. But St. Petersburg, Florida, the Association of African American Life and History is announcing the launch of Freedom Schools. The Freedom Schools, or the concept of Freedom Schools, date back to the Civil Rights Movement. It's named a nod to Mississippi's Freedom Summer. Then the Council of Federated Organizations, the COFO, which included the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the NAACP, the Congress of Racial Equality, and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, all banded together to educate masses about voting rights, racial terror, and what they can do to get involved politically. During the summer of 1964, Mississippi tried to ban the opening of freedom schools. Yeah, crosses were burnt as a warning in 64 of the state's 82 counties on a single night. Still, leaders pressed on, opening the schools anyway. So this is something that we had back in the 60s that is coming back today, that we need to have our own schools. We can educate ourselves. Jacqueline Hubbard, a member of the Association of African American Life and History in St. Petersburg chapter, said her remembrance of the importance of freedom schools back in the day is what prompted her to spearhead it amid Florida's ongoing educational crisis. I was really active in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee when I was in college, and I remember I was a part of the Freedom Summer. I remember the Freedom Summer, I remember the Freedom Schools, and I wrote an article for the Weekly Challenger saying, "Don't you think it's time we revisit the Freedom Schools? Don't our kids need to be taught their own history? Who can better teach it than those of us who are of the same group? The curriculum is an abomination." That's the new curriculum. It makes me very angry when I read what they want to teach children, Hubbard said. The association first got the idea to launch a freedom school in 2014, but it didn't materialize until the recent urgency in Florida. Now the Freedom School has graduated its first class with 23 current students enrolled. One student, 16-year-old Abyssinia, said her dad explained to her what the school was, and now that she's finished, she feels even better going into her junior year with her newfound knowledge. So they're giving kids opportunities in the summer, on weekends to learn. Kids are missing out on a lot, I would say. You can learn African American history in school, but by coming to Freedom School, you just learn so much more. When I think about Black history, I've always thought of it as a negative thing because of what we've learned in schools of all these years. And so by coming to Freedom Schools, we get to learn so much more about Black history and not just the bad parts, explained Abyssinia. The school is open to children of all races and ethnicities. 13-year-old Dean Rum enrolled in the school with his older brother. Now he feels like he's walking away with so much more information and understanding than his peers. I kind of like it because schools don't usually teach this stuff, so it helps. I'm white. So if you can learn about the history of other people and not just American history, that's a good thing, says Rum. And it's not just American history, because a lot of the Black history is American history. But let's go ahead, Mr. Rum. Glad for you being there. Freedom School is currently located at the Woodson Museum in St. Petersburg. Outside are a painted mural that reads, "Black History Matters," a perfect signal to the transformative work happening inside. Hubbard is working with the association to offer freedom schools year-round, the organization already expanding to various chapters across the state. Currently, the Sarasota-Manatee County chapter also runs a freedom school, and there are plans for so many more. To learn more about Florida Freedom Schools, and if you want to enroll your child in next year's session, they have a link. So go to the Because of Them We Can, BOTWC, on Facebook, and you can see this article and you can use that link. That's Because of Them We Can. You know, and that's one thing that we have to remember. Some went through. Now, here's a lady who went through freedom schools in 1964, and they have to restart them again in 2024 or 2023. You know, starting freedom schools, having to teach our kids black history. And some people never stop. Freedom schools are good, but there are organizations that have been teaching, reading, and learning black history, working with young people like the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center right here in Kansas City, Missouri, which has for 40 years been helping students not only to learn their math, their science, their reading, and improve and excel in school, but also to keep them culturally grounded, to know that the name of this institution, W.E.B. Du Bois, means something, that there was a positive influence going on in the world. So we need to know things like that, and our young people need to know and be exposed to things like that. So right on to the Florida's Association of African American Life and History, teaching freedom schools right now. So that is fantastic that Ron DeSantis, the school education authorities, can't stop you from learning. They can change curriculums, they can change schools, or even stop them altogether. But if you want to learn, you can still learn. And as parents, as older people in the community, we ought to be striving to help our young people learn their history, learn their greatness, regardless of what the powers may be, are saying or doing. So that's something we should all be about. I know here in Kansas City, we have the National Black United Front, and they have book reading clubs. They have groups of kids. They have rites of passage programs where young men, young women can learn about their history, can develop a cultural identity that says you are more, that you are worthy, and that you are well thought of. And that's what we need to have our kids looking at. That's what they need to be learning from and about. So, you know, we want to move forward in science, technology, engineering, and math, because a lot of the foundations, even for those sciences, even for mathematics, are riddled with the black, the black endeavors in math. You know, that a lot of these sciences, a lot of those got their start in the cradle of civilization in Africa. So, you know, we have to remember, we have to know our history to know that you are more than a statistic. Yes, that you are somebody. And that's one thing we want to remember. All right, and August the 14th, that's the day. In 1976, Prairie View State University, one of the top universities for generating African-American architects and engineers, was founded. All right. And now we need to look, I don't know about, I guess it may have been then. I'll have to check with some people on there. Another thing going on this day in August the 14th, 1966, Halle Berry, the Oscar-winning Hollywood actress, was born. And on the same day, August 14th, they celebrate birthdays. Irvin Magic Johnson, basketball player and entrepreneur, was born. So a lot of things happened in August, and those were some of the things that happened on this day in August. But there were things that happened last week, and there'll be things happening next week that are all part of our picture. So you need to learn more. Now, there's a site that you can go to called Black Facts, where you can see all the different things or different days. August the 3rd, in the month of August, Jesse Owens wins 4 gold medals in the Berlin Olympics. That was in 1936. That's when Hitler refused to shake hands or recognize him, left the stadium after he beat so many Aryan or their master race athletes. So remember that. At August the 3rd, Mr. Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was winning gold medals, 4 gold medals in the Berlin Olympics. And Matthew Henson, if you don't know him, on August 8th, he was an explorer, and he became the first to reach the North Pole. He was born on August the 8th. And August the 5th also, William Bill Pinckney, the first African American and the fourth person in the world to circumvent the globe alone by boat. That happened in 1990 on August 5th. So he took a boat around the world by himself. William Bill Pinckney. So it's a lot of things. America's one of the oldest HBCUs in the United States, St. Augustine's College, transitioned its name and status to St. Augustine's University. So they moved up from a college to a university. That just happened in 2012. So there's a lot of things that if you go to blackfacts.com, you can find out. You can use as trivia questions with friends and stuff to see if they know. Take some of these facts to your job and see who all knows some of the stuff that you can pick up and learn about black history. So yeah, that is a great thing. It's happening. Also want to say there's a lot of tragedy in Hawaii right now, and that's we want to keep our prayers going up for those that have lost their lives and those that are suffering those losses, suffering from the loss of homes and businesses and family and friends on the Hawaiian island of Maui. The Hawaiian island of Maui, wildfires, I think the number of confirmed dead is 96 right now. It's starting out, it might be one of the largest fire tragedies or natural disaster tragedies in the United States, as the 96 bodies have been found so far. One whole city was practically wiped out by this fire. They say some of the alarms didn't go off, cell phones were down because of the wires and the lines being burnt. All of these things happening. They're getting together. They're going to want to point fingers and see who dropped the ball, but it's one of those natural disasters, and sometimes things that you think wouldn't happen will happen. We can make all our plans. We can have a lot of backup systems. We can do a lot of drills, but sometimes Mother Nature will come at you in a way that catches you by surprise. And sometimes we get lax in our safety and security, and that we think that everything's taken care of when it isn't. But I don't think it's a time to blame. It's a time to say, let's find out what went wrong and how can we stop it from happening again. So our prayers are going out to all of those that are in Hawaii, all of the first responders that are working, and all of those that are going out to feed, to help restore those people's lives, their homes, and all that they have and stuff. If you want to make a donation, please make your donation to a known nonprofit organization that is doing things. There are a lot of different ones that are good, but don't just give your money to anything that pops up on the internet. Say, we're going to help Maui or send money to Hawaii. You know, there are some of the national names, and maybe even your local area, you know, some groups that support those type of things. Give to someone that you know, that you feel that you know, because we never know absolutely, but that the money will go for what you want it to go to, not just to somebody that's out to make a quick buck on somebody else's disaster. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about with Hawaii. But we want to keep our prayers up. I'm supposed to be going there in another year or so. I have a granddaughter that wants to get married in Hawaii, so hopefully we'll be able to make that trip out there. I've never been to that part of the United States, so that will be a fantastic trip if we get to go on it. Also want to say that yesterday in Kansas City was going to be 816 Celebration Day on the Vine. 816 Day actually is going to be Wednesday, and there's going to be a pub crawl and stuff. But for the whole community to come out, they usually pick a weekend closest to 816 Day for a celebration. And yesterday, August the 13th, was supposed to be 816 Day on the Vine, on 18th and Vine. Black Family Technology Awareness Association and KUAW Radio was there, but we were there in the midst of a rainstorm. The rain was coming down before we got there, and a lot of stuff had washed out in the street, and they were trying to hold on for the weather to break and get nice. It stopped raining for an hour or two, and then it started raining again. And so they had off and on rain, and some of it was pretty tough rain coming down. I was down there till about 2:30 or so, and the rain was coming down, and they had canceled it and called it off and thought, for safety's sake, to let everybody leave. So I left from down there then. But I want to say, Miss D. Barker, Busy Benton, all of you that were part of that staff of putting that on, I know you put in a lot of work to get this going, and you guys have done fantastic with all of the 816 days in the past. So this may have been one that got a little bit wet and rained on, but I know you're going to be back, and 816 Day will come back bigger and better next year. So we'll be ready for you. I know they're going to reschedule and have another one, but I mean, we'll see when that date comes up. They're supposed to be rescheduling this year to have an 816 Day celebration, and BFTAA and KUAW will be there. But we know that when we get a fresh start and we come back again to the Vine next year, it's going to be ready. It's going to be on and popping, so we'll be ready for it. So, hey, you guys keep doing the good work. This was one you have to take on the chin, but that's all right. We know you get back in the ring. You're not going to throw in the towel and say no mas. You can keep fighting and stuff. So hats off to you, Dee and Busy and the whole staff. I know I saw Tracy down there working and some other people that you see around in the community, and it was great to just talk to a few people that came by. There was a lot of families that came from City Church were going and coming while I was there, and I was able to pass out some flyers and give out some pens to people that were just coming by heading to worship service, and I was glad to do that. And hopefully you'll get in touch with us, because we're enrolling students right now for the BFTAA robotics program, and we're going to start taking students for our drone program, because it's a first come, first serve. It's not going to start with our drone program until January, I believe, but we want to get your names in so we can get in touch with you. And our first seats go to the students that are in our LEGO program. Our LEGO program will be starting in full force in September. We've got a workshop to get the kids ready for LEGO so that they can learn the new LEGO Prime and how the coding works in it. So they're meeting on Saturday, and this is open. Anybody can come if you want your child to start learning about the LEGO Prime brick that we have now and getting ready for this year's LEGO League. Come down between 12:30 and 2 o'clock, sign up for the BFTAA LEGO team. So we'll be glad to have you. We're also taking sign-ups for those older kids that want to be in our VEX program, because the LEGO team is for 9 to 12-year-olds. Our 13 through 18-year-olds are part of our VEX robotics program. So you can sign up for both of those. We'll be starting in September, and we also want you to be ready for the drone program that will start right after the robotics program ends. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you. And all you parents that were in our drone and robotics programs last year, now's the time to sign up. Bring your kids on down. We'll be here Saturday from 12:30 to 2 o'clock at, what is this, 4510 East Linwood Boulevard. 4510 East Linwood Boulevard, the former Milton Moore Elementary School, which is now the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Come down, show up so we can get back to work, get these kids back to doing the robots and the things that they love and have fun with. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys here. Also, be sure and go to our Facebook and web pages. I'm going to be putting up some QR codes that you can use to go to our enrollment site. We're also looking for volunteers. If you would like to volunteer and help out with the VEX program, with the LEGO program, with our drone program, or you don't know what you want to help out with, if you want to come and just look, see, find out, get in touch with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. You can call me, George Walker, at 816-805-0406. Or you can hit us up on email, BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. You can also reach us on Facebook at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association -BFTAA. And you can get us on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter. So leave us messages, shoot us a note anywhere you are if you want to volunteer with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. If you want to give back to your community, help some young people, and have fun, meet a great group of folks. We've got an event coming up. We've got some tickets to go to the Royals game. So a lot of our members, our family, our parents of the kids and the kids will be able to go to the Royals game. We're going to be heading there next month for the Salute to the Negro Leagues. So before those tickets run out, you might want to get in touch with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Come down, become a volunteer, hang out and do some bonding with us and see what we're about and stuff. So we'll be looking forward to you coming out and being a part of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. It's one big happy family, and we'll be glad if you come and join and become a part of it. We'll adopt you. This is open to all people, all races, nationalities, religions. We don't care. We want you to come. If you have a heart for our young people, if you have a heart for families, if you want to learn more about technology yourself, if you want to do some hands-on teaching with our young kids, then sign up for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association to become a mentor or a coach. We can use you. We can use you. That's the main thing I want to say as a recruiter, is that we need to have as many of the young people, your parents, and we need to have you to volunteer and help us out at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Well, hey, I'm glad that I was able to come in today. I was wet yesterday. I got home and I thought I was going to come down with a cold. I'd been out in that rain and got pretty soaked, even though I was under a tent, or the kind of tent we set up, but it didn't have no walls on it. And I found out the wind was blowing and still got pretty wet out there and stuff. So I got home and had a little bit of a sniffle, but took some vitamin C pills and got things together, and I feel pretty good now after a good night's sleep. So I'm back at it, and I'm ready to raise the roof and raise the progress of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Sometimes you might get down. Sometimes it seems like the road is all uphill and that no doors are open for you. But that is a time that you want to trust in God. You want to pray. You want to have faith and trust, and you move forward, and doors will open. The road will get smoothen out, and your help will come from places you never imagined it would come. Sometimes I get tired and I say, boy, it's tough and it's hard work and we got to do this and I don't get paid and all of that. But then when I look back over at what God has done for me and my family in my life, I say, it's all right. I've been paid in full. I can do even more because I've received more than I could ever give back, than I could ever pay back. So I'm here and I'm volunteering my time, my services, my talents to help young people, to help families, to help in the community. So if you have a heart to help, to serve, contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. You can give us a call and leave a message at the KUAW radio station, 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. You can also hit us up on the email, BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. So reach out to us and join us and help us make this world a better place. One person at a time, one young person at a time, one robot at a time. Yes, we're going to be building and having a lot of fun. So come and join us. We'll see you again right here next week and every Monday from 5 to 5:45 on the BFTAA and More Show with your host, Louis George Walker. And we'll find out some more of what's going on in NASA, what's happening in the community, and what is going on with all this AI that we're talking about. All right, you have a great week. See you next time. Bye-bye.